If the first game breaks, we'll get you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, sides, two games after this win in. Press you again, we're here for the first May. Can't fight you never 60 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't gonna be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? All right.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know, we've spent, 4 years, trying to change the culture, trying to instill in these young men how blessed they are, to have an opportunity to play somewhere like the University of Tennessee. And what an honor it is to have that T on the side of your helmet, and that we're always playing for something bigger than us individually.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS that my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Don't laugh at me, Boogie.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. He's barely Coach Jay. If you guys see what I can see in the back room, we saw Coach Jay looking like the Flash flying across that room. Man, we had to fire up a stream. Clearly nothing went on. I mean, absolutely nothing happened today worth talking about. I just figured we'd fire up a random stream. Man, I hope everybody had a good Christmas. Coach, I know you had a lot going on. Hope you had a good Christmas. But the most important thing that I need to know right now is, did you win your college football playoff game in the EA Sports College Football Talkin VAWLS Dynasty?
I did win my game. It was a good game. Had a lot of fun playing. What was it? It was Notre Dame versus LSU. I went up at halftime by 2 scores, got down to 1 score, and I got to give a shout out. It was a lot of fun. He almost brought it to a tie game. He's on the 8-yard line, right? Throws a slant, Boogie, tips off the guy's hands into my DB's hands.
Oh, no.
So he got EA'd, in fairness to him. But I think I had 2 user picks early in the game that kind of, you know what I mean? When you get those early user picks and kind of
Kills the momentum.
set the mo. And he now knows my secret. I got a little secret that everyone's going to have to deal with in my quarterback room. I'll just leave it at that.
No, he's a true freshman, is he not? Is he not a true freshman? Come on, okay, we got college football. We got real college football to talk about.
Okay,
this is the type of fun that we are having. Talking Balls Dynasty. We're about to wrap up the college football playoffs. It's the perfect time for you guys to jump in. Maybe you can get screwed by EA against Coach J, or maybe not. Maybe you can have a good man. Me and Knoxville Predator had a good game yesterday. I just out talented. Nothing I could do, but it was a fun game. We got a lot to talk about though, man. I think this fan base, a lot of people in this fan base. I was laughing, messaging Nelson earlier. I was like, if you go look at the comments of any of my tweets today, it is one side or the other. Either it is burn it to the ground, it is full chaos, panic mode. We're going 6-6, or it's we have absolutely nothing to worry about. We're going to talk about it all. We missed on the offensive lineman from Northwestern. Boo Carter teases the portal. Squirrel White is in the portal. We got a lot to talk about. I've been preaching patience. And Coach, I know you have too. You actually tweeted out yesterday, day before, saying, hey, guys, the portal closes on the 28th. That doesn't mean that Tennessee is done on the 28th. And then Austin Price today backed up everything that you and I have been preaching. He said January is when Tennessee will make some additions. December has been focused on Ohio State and maintaining this current roster. Very little additions, but January is when we're going to look to make some additions. So talk about that, your tweet, saying, hey, portal closes tomorrow, but we still got plenty of time.
It's what this coaching staff has done the last 2 years, and I don't know why anyone would expect it to be different, I guess is my point. And for me, I get it. Like Vol Nation, I hear you. I see you. I understand the concern. I understand wanting to throw the bag at every 5-star that comes our ways. I 100% get that. Give me all the players, right? I understand that, and I hear you. But this coaching staff has a process, and for the last 11 months, every single person who has come on this channel has preached trusting this coaching staff. And I just don't understand at the first sign of when you don't feel like it went your way going, well, I'm not going to trust him anymore. It's easy to trust someone when things are going perfectly, when things are hunky-dory, when you're making the playoffs. After you drop a game, when you don't get every single 5-star recruit you want, when you have too many transfers go in the portal and you feel bad about it, that's when it's hard to trust someone. That's when it's hard to get your teams back. But I want to challenge each and every Vol fan out there to bite down, to support this team, to trust the process. I do still trust Heupel. I am going to preach patience right now. I still think we have time. I think this coaching staff's getting their ducks in the row. I still don't believe, Boogie, that we've lost an intricate piece to this team yet.
Yeah, that's something.
Believe that.
I agree. I'm trying to find, man, I had this fun font. There it is. Let's go back to it. I don't know why it won't ever save my settings on StreamYard. I agree with you. And we're gonna kind of get into that. We'll go through that here in just a second. We'll take a look at the guys that we have lost in the portal. We're gonna look at all the news from today. Just a lot of stuff to get into. That's why I put up the bat signal. I said, Coach Shea, what are you doing? He said, well, I'm trying to advance in the college football playoff, but I guess I can spare an hour or two. Let's catch up with you guys. Luke Thompson, the unaccountable accountant for 2, says, Dorothy, what pick do you see Sampson going to? We'll get into Dylan Sampson here in just a second. We'll talk about where we think he ends up in the draft. Joey Carroll for 2. Dorothy, thankful for Boo. I appreciate that, Joey. By the way, drop some Dorothy's. I asked what Coach Jay was up to. Tonight was date night, and date night consisted of Mrs. Boogie staring at me while I was on my phone. Refreshing. I made 2 videos that saw the light of day today. And I made 2 videos that were in my back pocket based on little bit of news, little bit of scoop that I had been given that didn't come to fruition. That's what this world is in the transfer portal in 2024. So drop those door fees for Mrs. Boogie because her date night was ruined. And then we get home, we settle in, we sit down on the couch, I pour a bourbon, and I'll say, would you be mad if I ask Coach Jay if he wants to go live tonight instead of tomorrow? She goes, Talkin VAWLS need you. Go take care of business. Matthew Watson for 2 says no more 3 stars. John Watts for 5 says Dorothy GBO. Appreciate you, John. That's a generous super chat. Balls deep for 2. Door fee. Let's get to 30K. Yeah, we're like 300. 300 subscribers away from 30K. Share this thing out. Let people know. Let people know. Adam Hucklebee's been a member for 24 months. We appreciate that. 2 years. No better channel. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. And thank you for 2 years of memberships. Balls deep for 10. Boogie, if you ever needed help with the basketball side, stats, coverage, notes, anything, I'd be more than happy to help. High school basketball coach for 4 years. Balls deep, I see you're a member of the channel. I can't see what tier you're at while we are live. We do a watch party every now and then for the basketball games. Come on. Look, how is Coach Jay here? Fan call-in shows.
Fan call-in.
The X Factor, fan call-in shows. You can come on a fan call-in show and earn your keep. Would love to get you on here. Never say never. I'm not against covering basketball if we have the right fit. Chex Mix for 5. What do you think of Nico? Nico's Instagram story means. I made a video on this. Christmas Day, Nico goes out. He thanks the fans. He thanks the coaches. It was a heartfelt, sentimental message on Christmas Day. However, if you added, I will be entering my name into the transfer portal at the very end, it makes sense. That said, I made a video. I talked about it. Not happening. He ain't going nowhere. Coach Jay, do you want to just reiterate that?
He's not going anywhere, period. Yeah. Nico, if I had to bet half my life savings, I would never bet all of it. So that means I'm willing to bet all that I'm willing to bet. I would bet Nico leaves Tennessee at the end of his career and declares for the draft.
You know, some people got mad because I made that video. Some people got mad because I made the Boo Carter video. Anything that I put out on this channel, if there's a rumor out there or there's something floating around the internet, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to put a thumbnail on it that makes people click on it, and then I'm going to shut that rumor down. I'm sorry if you don't like clickbait, if you don't like YouTube, it is what it is. That's how you drive a YouTube channel, but I'm going to shut down the nonsense. Coach Jay just reiterating what I said. Memphis Perry for 10. We're going to do this in $10 increments tonight. Boog, first off, hope you and Coach Jay had a great Christmas. Coach Jay, come join us over at To the Checkerboards. You're not very active on Facebook, are you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Nope.
That's a Memphis taught me to be an
Yeah.
admin there. I'm like, Memphis, I'm not gonna I don't even admin my own Facebook group. He says, Boogie, just hit okay, so we don't have to approve your post and you can just automatically post freely in the group. So go join To the Checkerboards on Facebook. Great group. Memphis is a good dude, always hanging out here in the chat. All right, we're caught up with super chats. Wait a minute, what? No, Boogie, 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago, what? Oh, new post on Instagram. Oh gosh, are we going here again? Hold on. Breaking news.
What's your name on Insta?
Don't at me, bro. This is what Talking
Don't
Balls is all
at
about.
me, bro.
Let's see what's going on here. I don't see a new post on Instagram.
Are people saying Nico's trying to leverage more money? That's just clickbait. Is all that is.
Nico has no new post on Instagram. His new post 5 minutes ago with a pic of him playing Georgia. None of that is on his Instagram. His Instagram.
I saw that from Ball Report.
Yeah, I'm on his Instagram right now. His latest post is the post from Christmas that everybody was talking about. The Merry Christmas, to God be the glory, love you, mom and dad, to my coaches, Rocky Top fans, all that stuff. So there
see
is
something like that. No, you can't see that, but it's on Vol Report posted it.
Vol Report on Instagram.
It's like a picture of him thinking, like the thinking emoji, and it's him sitting in an open pocket versus Georgia. From 2 minutes ago, Vol Report. I don't know. I'm just trying to guess.
Is that on Twitter?
About. It's on the Twitter. I don't know if that's what people are talking about. I don't know if that's what people are talking about it. We're live. We're live.
Vol Report. This is what this stream is to do. Is to
vectoring.
Yeah, let's calm everybody down. That's what we're here to do. Okay, so that's from 3 minutes ago.
Oh, there's a few fake Nico accounts too.
No, that's the actual one. That's the actual Nico. So let's put this up on the screen from Vol Report, like Coach Jay said. Vol Report says, not sure what this means from Nico, possibly trying to leverage for more money. Who knows these days? I mean, that is his Instagram. It says 3 minutes ago. he didn't have any stories posted. So who knows how long. Yeah, he has no stories. So I don't know when. That's not recent. If it was recent, Nico deleted it.
You know what
So
I'm thinking? I'm thinking Nico's dreaming of enough time to throw the ball in the pocket is what it looks like.
got a nice clean pocket. This is what it
Yeah,
feels
look
like.
at that. I mean, if you think about it, if I'm deducing, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know. This is the world of college football in 2024. Let's see here. Back to the basement we go. Oh, come on. For 2, we had a good run, guys. Maybe next decade. We're going to pump the brakes on that. Nelson for 5 says Boogie still has AOL. Dial up, man. Anybody knows what that means? You're old. Nelson, one of these days I'm going to send you the link and I'm going to make you get on here and you're going to hang out with me and Coach Jay. You would fit right in breaking all this down. Matt Black for 5, changed my mind. NIL and unlimited transfer portal has ruined college football. It's hurting it. Like my poor wife again, we're having dinner, date night. We never get date night. And I'm talking about NIL and the transfer portal and Squirrel White and Boo Carter. And she was like, why do they not just make it limited, like a one-time transfer? And that's the way it used to be. That's the way it used to be. I think they've got to continue to dial some of those things in. Memphis Berry pretends as Boog. CJ, is there CJ? Maybe I'll start calling you CJ. Is there any truth to Arian Carter hitting the tunnel? The Arian Carter news or rumors were Ole Miss. Ole Miss was flirting. He said no. Sounds to me like Arian Carter. Now, never say never, right? He has until tomorrow to make that decision. But everything that I saw was that Ole Miss was flirting. Arian Carter shut it down, and he's staying at Tennessee. And that again, it goes back to nobody's safe. Did you hear anything different?
No, I haven't heard anything different. That's all I've heard as well.
So. And let's kind of go there. We talk about nobody's safe, and we're creating panic. Like panic. Look. I've seen twice today, Coach. Twice today. One of them, I think you were tagged in. We're going 6-6 next year. And then one of the other things I've seen is we only went 10-2 because we didn't play anybody in 2024. So which is it? Because if you look at the conference schedule for next year, if we're going 6-6, did we not play anybody? Because the conference schedule next year is exactly the same. You're just flipping home away. Non-conference, Syracuse, ETSU, UAB, New Mexico State. You're 4-0 right there. There's your 4 wins. Your 4 wins against non-conference. So you think we're only going to win 2 games between Georgia at home, Mississippi State on the road, Arkansas at home, Bama and Kentucky on the road, Oklahoma at home, Florida on the road, Vanderbilt at home. Coach Shea, why is the panic? Is it just the number of people?
I've heard so much bull crap in my time as a Vol. I've heard, I'm not going to call them out by name, but I've heard people in the chat right now after the Arkansas game saying we're going 6-6, saying we're not going to do this, saying we're not going to do that. Sometimes put the cocktail down.
Oh,
put the hammer down on the gun in the holster. It might be.
Can I keep mine? Can I keep mine?
And just chill out for a second. You know what I mean? Because look, here's the end of it for me, right? And me panicking is not going to do anything, right? I know this coaching staff has done great things with a much worse roster than you can devise in your little transfer portal destruction mind. Because no matter what you dream up right now in your mind, Heupel's first year was worse, right? We had less bare bones too the year after. So, look, maybe it's the coach in me, but when the season starts, give me the roster I got. I'm going to go with it. I thought our roster, I don't want to say overperformed this year. I don't think that's the right word for it, but I guess maybe if it depends how much you buy into the whole blue chip ratio. But if you put all the stock that a lot of people do into that blue chip ratio and you say, okay, Tennessee was 20% less than any team in the top 15 in the blue chip ratio, then I would say they overperformed, right? So I don't know. I don't know. I just know, give me the players I got and I'm going to go. I'm not going to panic. I'm always going to root for my team. I don't care if we've got the school of the blind playing, in lieu of Tennessee. If they're wearing that power tee, I'm going to back them 100% of the way, and I'm going to be behind them. So it doesn't help to panic. It doesn't help to freak out. And I trust this coaching staff, so I'm not tripping.
You have to, right? Like, I mean, you said it earlier, and I've been preaching it for weeks. Like, this coaching staff has nailed the portal. They've nailed the portal since they've been here. And a lot of times it's been late, and we've all been in panic mode. And then they go to the portal and they take care of business, and we bring in guys that contribute. P. Blacksher for 2 says, will Boo Carter do this again next year? Probably. If he goes out and he balls out and he has success, probably. It's college football in 2024. If I do well at my job, I go to my boss and say I deserve a raise. Like, that's the world we live in. And I don't know that you can fault the kids for it. I think the system is what's broken. Dylan Elam for 30 months. Appreciate you, brother. We just went on a playoff run. We've got a big fat bullseye on our forehead now, and teams are trying to purge from us. We've got to take care of ours before we can get help. Trust the process. Yep. That is so spot on. Like, for every person out there going scorched earth on Twitter, yelling and screaming and crying about every guy that we missed in the portal, on the flip side of that, name one guy that has entered the portal that made you go, what are we going to do? What are we going to do without this player? Now, Boo Carter, I would have maybe said, all right, now I'm a little concerned. Am I freaking out? No, but a little concerned if we lose Boo Carter. But guess what? When Boo Carter teases the portal, what does Spire Sports Group do? They step up and they deliver, and they keep Boo home. Brad drops a 20 spot. We'll play the clip.
Rocky Top!
See, I know what Brad's doing. Brad's dropping that 20 because it's the top donation of the night, and he wants to be at the top of the leaderboard. So I would love it if somebody would drop $20.01 so we can knock Brad off that leaderboard. He says, first, hope all the Talkin VAWLS family had a good Christmas. Second, reached out to my Ole Miss contacts, Crickets. Third, NCAA has to dial back the unlimited transfer ability. GBO in hype we trust. I agree. I think that's where it starts. Dialing back unlimited transfers. Give them one free transfer, and then put some rules in place where you have to sit out a year or do something. You got to dial that back in. You know, the NIL stuff, what's killing me is the antitrust laws, right? Diego Pavia saying, well, I wasn't good enough coming out of high school, so I went to JUCO. I couldn't make money. You're taking money out of my family's pocket. No, you just weren't good enough. Nobody's taking money out of my pocket because I can't go play in the NBA. Like, so nobody took money out of Diego Pavia's pocket. But these antitrust laws are causing all kinds of chaos with NIL. But I agree with Brad. You got to fix this unlimited transfer.
He also brings up a good point with Ole Miss. You know, Ole Miss was much the best team in the transfer portal this offseason, and they sat at home during the postseason this year. You know who didn't sit at home? Ohio State. And they didn't sit at home because they found the right blend, the right mix of talent on campus, and bringing in the proper pieces to fit in the holes at cornerback, at safety, where they needed the position help. I truly do believe that is the best way to use the transfer portal, which is why I want to kind of sit back and see what coach does before I make a final decision. Now, look, the time can come when I'm going into spring camp and I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like what we did. I don't like our roster, blah, 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 blah. It's just, for now, it just feels a little knee-jerk to me.
And we're going to talk about it, right? Like, these rumors come up, guys leave, guys stay. It's worth talking about. Is it worth freaking out about? I don't know that that's the case. Ralph Keith also drops a 20 spot. We appreciate you, brother.
Rocky Top!
Ralph being very generous here. He says, to help a date not Mrs. Boogie. She's going to appreciate that. Have a good one, sir. By the way, I'm not worrying. We are making room for better players to fit the system. Face it, we couldn't catch a cold this year. Better players are coming, GBO. Again, shout out, Ralph. I appreciate that. Very generous. Look at the wide receiver room this year and look at the defensive back room last year. It looks very, very, very eerily similar. And yes, the ads were late last year. Now me and Coach Jay preaching patience. Austin Price got our back, pushes it forward, say, look to January for Tennessee to make some additions. I said I wanted Brad off the leaderboard. Luke Thompson drops $20.01 to say, LOL. I'll play 2 clips.
Rocky Top!
$20.01 to say, lol, LOL, and then poor Luke gets a taste of his own medicine because Banjo comes in and drops $21. We'll play the clip again.
Rocky Top!
Appreciate you. Banjo says, sorry, Brad. Also, sorry, Luke. Just knocking him right off the leaderboard. Black Metal Banjo, top donation of the night. We appreciate you, brother. Dave Morrison for 2. 132 other FBS teams won't win a natty, so chill out. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it with Kaner this morning. I feel like part of the fan base being in panic mode is because of the way you lost to Ohio State. Then you follow it up, and the only news you're getting in the portal is guys on the way out the door. But let's go through it. Let's go through it, Coach Jay. Let's take a look at who's entered the portal. 13 scholarship players. You lost a walk-on in Gaston Moore. No worries, right? No worries. And I hope Gaston Moore goes somewhere and balls out. I hope he transfers down and has a lot of success. So let's go through offensive linemen on the way out the door. Bison Lang. You in panic mode?
No.
Let's skip this one. We'll come back to this one. Running backs, Khalifa Keith, Cam Seldon. You in panic mode?
No.
Holden, what was the first thing you thought when you saw Holden Stace enter the portal? Like, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
The first thing that went through my mind was Diego Pavia. Can I explain?
Oh, I know what you're going to say. Go right ahead.
We had a big conversation on this channel about how, Miles Kitselman and I would, I would probably think about leaving if I were Holden Stays, and we didn't like it because we thought, why is number 0? Ethan Davis.
Yes.
We were worried about Ethan Davis transferring, not Holden Stays. And I brought up on this channel, you can pull up that video where we're talking about it. I brought up the point that I would be more surprised if it wasn't Holden that left, because Ethan Davis had stolen his playing time at the end of the year. He had passed him up on the field. So
I may have stolen those words from you when I made the video about Stace entering the portal.
Okay, yeah. So that was the first thing that I thought of, when that happened. So yeah. So was I surprised? No. The first thing I thought of was Diego Pavia, and yeah, it just didn't surprise me. He'd already got passed up, and when you bring up Deshaun Brame too. Van Dorslayer coming in behind it. I do feel like this staff, Boogie, is made a bit of a youth movement. And I think I brought up on this channel also numerous times that I truly, truly, truly believe, like really believe, and I have reasons behind it, that Nico is going to play out his junior year here. And I'm not saying they're surrendering next year in any way, because I think we're going to be really competitive next year, actually. But I just think they might be, sitting up at the deer stand waiting for that big buck to come by on that season. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, let's see. Jordan says, can Kits come back? Yes, because of Diego Pavia, what Coach Jay's talking about, he basically sued the NCAA, saying they violated antitrust laws because he believes he can make over $1 million in 2025, but they won't let him be eligible. So guys that played in JUCO now get a free pass for eligibility. So Miles Kitselman is applying for that waiver. So when I saw that Holden Stace entered the portal, I said, all right, Miles Kitselman is definitely coming back. And it's no disrespect to Holden Stace. My fear when all that went down, and I made a video talking about Kitselman, my fear was that Ethan Davis was going to be the one that entered the portal. And I wanted Ethan Davis back. So that's what we got. The first thing that went through my mind when I saw that was, all right, Stace into the portal. That means Ethan Davis is back. Jack Van Dorsayer, Deshaun Brame. You also got Carson Sneed committed in the class of 26. We got tight ends lining up to play in this offense. Let me continue to catch up with you guys. Luke Thompson drops $21.01. He wants to be on the leaderboard.
Rocky Top!
Luke
Boogie, I just tagged you. Check your Twitter. Put your Twitter up on the screen. There's a possible transfer. There's a possible transfer.
What is happening? Wait, you tag my – no, you can't tag me. You got to tag Talkin VAWLS.
I did.
Oh, Talkin VAWLS?
Talkin VAWLS. Yeah, throw it up on the screen.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm about to get paid, guys. I'm about to get paid, guys. I'm about to get paid. All right.
Do you really want me to put this – hold on.
Let's talk, guys. Let's talk.
Do you really want me to put this on the screen?
I'm helping. I need the chat's help here.
What is happening?
I need more money, guys. I put thinking emojis. I'm thinking about it. Sports Talk Jay's been contacting me for months. Behind closed channels. I don't know, Boogie. I don't know. It's tempting. He runs a really smooth program. He's got cutaways. I'm thinking of leaving. Nah, you're good. I'm staying home.
I can't believe you just did this to me. I can't believe you just did this to me.
Sorry. All right, I'll
Oh,
take
my
it
gosh.
down. Boogie
Dude,
Boogie offered me the bag in the back room. I'll take it down. I'll take it down.
would be epic if somebody screen captures that. Oh, my gosh. You had me in full panic mode. I thought something was going on with Nico. Oh, my gosh. Nicholas for 5 says, do you think there is some truth to the reason our NIL football money is lower is because we apply to all sports instead of football more so? Maybe. Like, I don't know. It's easy to brag and celebrate and say that we're an everything school. And then the second something goes wrong, then all of a sudden it's like, well, let me tell you this. I was talking to Wayne. We were messaging back and forth today, and we were talking about Wayne's laughing in the chat right now. We were having this exact same conversation. I told Wayne, baseball loses money. So while you celebrate that natty and you're waving a big orange flag and you're saying, we're at everything school, just know that football pays the bills so that those baseball players can compete. Period. End of story. Not even close. That team last year that won a national championship lost money. They did not make any profit. I saw one person say $6 million. I don't know how accurate that is, but they did not finish in the positive. Gary Harper drops $25. That's an orange boy. Will play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Y'all going nuts over this leaderboard. I got to keep updating it. Kick people off. Add more people. Gary Harper takes the top donation of the night. Says, I will raise $5 to say boo. Thank you, Gary Harper. We appreciate you, brother. Memphis Perry for 10 says, drop the bag and we'll win the big games. Hashtag Danny White, Josh Heupel. Show these recruits the dang money. Carson Ray for 2 says, no more 3 stars. I don't know, man. I feel like, is high school recruiting being devalued by all this stuff? Very quite possibly. Let's continue to go through the departures, right? You've not been concerned one time. Gaston Moore, Bison Lane, Khalifa Keith, Cam Selton, Holden Stace, not concerned at all. Jalen Smith, I already know the answer. You criticized him all year long. You're not concerned at all about Jalen Smith.
No, not
all
at
right.
all.
Defensive backs, Jordan Matthews, Christian Harrison. Let me say this. This is why the boo thing, like I was like, all right, maybe I'll start to get I'm not in panic mode, but concerned if Boo goes in the portal because now you've lost your two guys. You're too deep at the star position. But now Boo's coming back, and I'm not worried about the defensive backs at all.
No, not at all. And I'll tell you what I love about it. We've been talking about, I love Boo on offense. I think he can do it. And I think what makes it even more feasible, Boogie, is the fact that Jordan Thomas will be here next year. And you can spell Boo with a really, really, really good player in Jordan Thomas. And I also think I'm not sold on Jordan. I'd like to think you can slide him into that other safety role. I'm not sure that they will or not. I think he's just much better in that star position. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that, but I know it gives you a lot more leverage and a lot more play on what you can and can't do in your defensive secondary while giving Boo packages and offensive series.
And we're going to go more in depth with Boo here in just a second. I just want to go through the losses. Jason Jenkins, defensive lineman. I think he could have been very good. I think he capitalized on his opportunities, but at the same time, he knows he's not going to get as many opportunities. So I think he's a guy that teased the portal last year, if I'm not mistaken. And then they talked him into coming back. So, man, Jennifer says Jay has Chilmont. That's almost like saying Boogie only has Coach Jay. I mean, that's the way that I read that comment. So let's talk about wide receiver because that's the only room, and I'm not in panic mode in any way, shape, or form. But you lost Squirrel White, you lost Caleb Webb, you lost Chaz Nimrod, you lost Nathan Laycock, and also Nate Spillman. Let's just do this. Let me go down this route first. Let's go ahead and talk about Squirrel White. We'll lump him in here because we're talking about the wide receiver room. But what concerns me is just depth, right? I think when I look at wide receivers for 2025, I get excited because everybody talking about Boo Carter, we'll get into that in just a minute, but they some of the messages I got, hey, man, Squirrel entering the portal just tells me Boo's going to ball out in the slot, and I sent them all. I said, you spelled Braylon Staley wrong. I almost texted Brian today. I almost texted Brian and said, brother, it is Braylon's time to shine because Squirrel entering the portal tells me that Braylon's going to be the dude. You talking about Boo getting spelled a little bit on defense. They're going to put him in the slot. He's going to have an opportunity to make plays, but I think Braylon Staley is going to be that dude at wide receiver that steps up. Mike Matthews is going to be on the outside. Brazel, as of now, is going to be on the outside, but depth is what concerns me about the wide receiver room. Squirrel White, Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod, Nathan Laycock, Nate Spillman, Brew McCoy out the door, Dante Thornton out the door. That's 7 guys out of that wide receiver room.
It's a big wash for sure, but once again, it just reminds me of the defensive backs. Now, where are they going to go? I realize there has been some wide receivers snatched up, but I have a lot of faith in Staley. I think in a lot of ways he is superior to Squirrel. I know we haven't seen too much of him yet. I think Squirrel's had trouble with catching the ball, and gosh, I hate to be sticky about this, but I mean, I feel like Squirrel caught 2 deep balls against Vanderbilt, 1 deep ball against Clemson. What else did he do?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll wait.
Like,
I'll wait.
Look at his
And what I've
numbers
heard from
year
everyone
versus this year. Like he was Joe's primary target. And I get it. 67 catches, 803 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 30 catches, 481 yards, 2 touchdowns this year. And let me say this. I love Squirrel White. I love a dude that will put his body on the line and go compete. And that's what Squirrel wanted to do. But he didn't deliver this year. Was it because he was hurt? Was it because he didn't deliver?
Can I ask you a question, Boogie?
After what you just did to me with Sports Talk, Jay, I don't know.
Not even Staley. Let's just move to Boo and Boo's packages. Who's more athletic, Boo or Squirrel?
Boo.
Who you trust blocking?
Athletic. Wait, go ahead.
Boo or Squirrel?
Boo.
Okay, and I heard a lot of people on Twitter over the last few days talk about, oh, why don't we run more designed end arounds for Squirrel? Why don't we run the ball more times for Squirrel? And at first I was like, you know what? Maybe they got a point. I feel like that sounds right. I looked it up. I don't know if you have it in front of you, Boogie. You know how many yards Squirrel White had running the football on the great 2022 offense?
I have no idea, but I would imagine not very many.
5. He had 5 yards is how many he had. He didn't have a lot. Last year, I think he had like 15. I think this year he's got negative like 7 or 11, something like that. He just hasn't been good on those end arounds. He just hasn't. I hate to pick on him because he was injured a lot of the year. And I don't know how much that had to do with it. And I wish him a lot of luck. Like you said, any wide receiver who's going to come in and fight when they're hurt, I like you. I like people like that on my team. I have to sit and wonder with the injury, with the drops, with the deficiencies. We don't know how well Staley was playing in practice. Did Squirrel White come and say, I think my market value is X? And the coaching staff said, what? You think what? Hold on, let's have a meeting. Okay, well, we won't offer him that. We'll offer you this. Maybe there was a counter offer and we were like, nah, we're good. We need to use that money for Boo Carter. We need to use that money for Mike Matthews. We need to use that money for X wide receiver who's still out there in the portal that we really want. And they haven't picked him up yet. No one's gotten him yet. He's still on the market. We're talking to him back channels. He's going to wait till we get this figured out. It's just hard saying. Once again, you just don't know now, which is why I don't want to jump too quickly to decisions.
I think that is probably the biggest thing with all this. We don't know. We don't know numbers.
Yeah.
We don't know. Like, look what Josh Heupel is dealing with, right? And we'll just roll right in. Let's roll right into the next topic here. When we talk about Josh Heupel, we don't know what Josh Heupel is dealing with. I got so many tabs open. Let's go take a look at this. So Josh Thompson, the offensive lineman from Northwestern that Tennessee was trending for. And when we talk about we don't know what Josh Heupel is dealing with, this is a guy that AP said Tennessee was trending for. We know we need interior offensive linemen. We got the commitment from Wendell. I'm never going to be able to say Wendell Moy Jr., but that's how you pronounce his name. Kaner said, Boogie, you pronounce it Wendell Moy Jr. Okay, well, I'll try, but it looks like Mo, and he looks like Mo. Well, like when I look at Wendell Moy Jr., I'm like, that's Big Mo. That's my boy, Big Mo. Like, I'm going to struggle here. But Josh Thompson, interior offensive lineman, trending to Tennessee. All signs indicated he was coming to Tennessee. Pete Nakos of On3 puts out an update, a prediction that he was coming to Tennessee. Let me tell you something. He was scheduled to commit at noon on Christmas Eve. So when we talk about what Josh Heupel is dealing with, it is Christmas Eve. He's not spending time with his family. He's got Josh Thompson scheduled to commit at noon. Pete Nakos puts out an update at 11:50. Now tell me when I'm telling lies. You guys can come at me. Somebody commented on my video this morning and said, "Oh, now you're blaming the media." No, I'm telling you the facts, and you can tell me where this gets steered in the wrong direction. Scheduled to commit at noon. Pete Nakos puts out the prediction at 11:50. 10 minutes before this kid is going to put pen to paper, and it's over and it's done, and he's coming to Tennessee. Pete Nakos puts out that update. Guess whose phone blows up? You want to take one guess whose phone starts ringing, Coach Jay, when that prediction came out? Oh, he's coming to Tennessee? Josh, this is such and such from LSU. Josh, this is such and such from Auburn. We saw that you got predicted to Tennessee. We're serious. We're willing to offer you this and that. He got so many NIL deals, so many offers because they were in panic mode because that prediction is, what do we say? It's a spoiler alert. It's a spoiler alert. So now everybody knows he's about to commit to Tennessee. So here come the NIL deals. Here come the offers. Josh Thompson pumps the brakes. He calms down. He says, let me see how this goes. And then from everything I've seen, LSU came through with a big money deal that Tennessee wasn't willing to match. So it's easy to go on Twitter. Oh, I can just look at Twitter, right? I can look at Twitter and see he was predicted to Tennessee. I can look at Twitter. Oh, see, now he's trending somewhere else. I can look at Twitter and I can see he committed to LSU. And I can freak out and I can panic and I can yell about Josh Heupel not being able to get it done. The reality is everything that I just told you. So, like, Josh Heupel can't enjoy Christmas Eve because he's too busy recruiting his own guys. He's too busy recruiting portal guys. He's too busy dealing with the nonsense of the media and what's going on behind the scenes.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I agree, obviously. What are we up to in transfers? Do you know the number exactly?
The number out?
Yeah, out.
13 scholarship players.
Okay. Yeah, well, LSU's up to like 17, right? Or 18 now, I think. Something like that.
Are they burning their program to the ground too, or is that just us?
So they, yeah, right. So they have, when numbers change, the amount you can spend changes. They got 2 offensive tackles going to the NFL. Their other 5-star offensive tackle is now wearing Tennessee orange. All of a sudden, you got some money to spend, right? And yeah, it probably makes you feel a little better to stick it to Tennessee on one too, right? After you lost one to them. So that kind of jives with me. I'll be honest with you guys. And you can ask Boogie. I prepared a film breakdown on Josh Thompson and Wendell Moy, and you'll get the Wendell Moy one, barring something weird doesn't happen. I had these guys rated just like I did Jalen Matthews and Ricky Gibson. I had them 1 and 1A. I did have Moy above him, but I mean, it was close, Boogie. It was really, really close. And the thing that made the difference to me in them was just the strength of Wendell Moy. He's just stronger. He's just strong. People run into him and that's it. You know what I mean? Like he just sucks you up. And that was the defining factor on paper for me, but it was really tight. This was a player I wanted. I won't make any bones about it. I just liked Wendell just a tidbit more. And that makes you think too, who did we sign first? Who did we give the more attractive offer to? What was, I'm not saying that, I have every single evaluation this coaching staff is. It just kind of makes my wheels turn, I guess is all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's obviously you wanted Josh Thompson. I mean, he's a big time player with a lot of experience, highly rated in the portal. Like, and again, going back to pass protection, like he's good at pass protection. So
they both
clearly
are.
Tennessee wanted Josh Thompson, but at the same time, there's no salary cap, but Tennessee has a certain amount of money they can spend. And that's what we as fans have to realize. Like, there's not this unlimited bag that we can go drop, that we can go spend, that we can go throw at players. You have to balance your spending. And that's why, again, going back to the top of the show, when I said that AP kind of backed us up and said, hey, you're going to see movement in January, right? And Tennessee is taking their money and they are keeping the guys that they want on this roster. They're keeping them here. And that goes back to the guys that have left. Tennessee wasn't necessarily concerned about that. So best of luck in your future endeavors, and we're going to focus on guys we want to be here. Knoxville Buckeye for 5 says, what about coaches costing too much, i.e. Kiffin costs Ole Miss 11% of their total football revenue. Also, a GBO. Mrs. Boogie at dinner was like, wait, Nico's getting paid how much? And you said Heupel gets paid how much? And I was like, no, that's per year versus Nico 3 years. Like, but, it's the world we live in. coaches can bolt at any moment in time, and now players can do the same. So Jeffy built for 2. Boo at wide receiver is going to be a sight to see next year. Robert Tuck for 5 says, have you heard if we get a split revenue for the playoffs game like we would a bowl game? And if so, how much, like we used to get money for a Gator Bowl? I have no idea what those numbers look like.
I have no idea either.
No idea. JJ Lamb and everybody's favorite troll for 5 says, I think ball fans will enter rehab over the portal. Well, that's your fault, JJ. That is your fault because you stir up a hornet's nest in the Facebook group and people cannot handle it. They cannot deal with you. That's why they need rehab. You are a part of the problem, but we love you. Anyway, Wade Rouse for 5 says they keep saying no more 3-star boys. D Sample's a 3-star. By most, we will be fine. The sky isn't falling. I trust this staff. Rome wasn't built in one day. Dylan Elam for 5. If in y'all's opinion, would you compare the receiver clean out to the DB clean out last year? And is this the make or break year for Kelsey Pope? Like who? Like WM. Oh, Willie Martinez. Yes and yes. I think for me, my eyes are on Kelsey Pope and my eyes are on Glenn Ellerbe this year because they're going to have some of those young guys, David Sanders, William Satterwhite on the offensive line, and now Braylon Staley, Mike Matthews, you're up in the wide receiver room. So I get the criticism of Glenn Ellerbe. We've not seen any of those young guys because we had a veteran bunch on the offensive line. You're talking about Dane Davis and Jackson Lampley. They're in the 2s, and those are veteran guys. So it's hard for those young guys to really have an opportunity. But now, push comes to shove, you're going to see those young guys. So yeah, my eyes are going to be on Glenn Ellerbe and Kelsey Pope.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. With me for the O-line too, once again, though, for me, it's more of a wait and see approach, at least with those ones. I mean, I talked about Wendell Moy a second ago. But, with the young guys, I thought Sham was primed to play. So I'd like to see how he is. He's been a little injury prone too. So we'll see how that kind of stacks up. But what I am careful not to do is just an argument for absence, because arguments from absenteeism is literally like a logical fallacy. And I don't like to go down those roads. It doesn't mean that it can't be a problem or won't be a problem. It's just kind of like, I want to see it with my own 2 eyes. I want to see how they develop throughout spring, into the spring game, and get eyes on before I make that determination.
Let's see. Chef Toy RD for 5. I agree we needed more higher star receivers, but we can also use more tight ends and running back passes that can offset those issues. I agree. And Coach Jay, you talk all the time, self-evaluation, right? At the end of the year, you as a coach have to look yourself in the mirror and say, what did I do good? What did I do bad? And then you also question, I mean, there's people out there that say this staff doesn't trust Nico. I don't buy into that. They say play calling is because they don't trust Nico. Did they not trust the wide receivers? Again, how many times did we criticize the passing game as a whole, whether that be Nico, whether that be the wide receivers, whether that be pass protection? It's all lumped into one. Now you're seeing a mass exodus of players in the wide receiver room. Is that coincidence?
I'll tell you what, though, you're not, and you know what? You're losing the older wide receivers, right? And you're making the youth movement behind a young quarterback. And if you didn't trust Nico and you didn't like him, for me at least as a coach, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd make a full youth movement, go spend my $8 million elsewhere, and rely on either Merkling or name coming in the class final, McIntyre, or in the next class behind it as well, another 5-star top line play up. So I don't see that has been the move by the staff. I do think this staff has gone, hey, look, we run top of the rotation wide receivers. Yeah, maybe we're going to slide Boo in there. I think that's smart, by the way. I like putting Boo in there. I think you can do a lot of that fun stuff with Boo in there. And Brant Staley as well. I think you can bring a lot of that fun, orbit motion, all kinds of crazy stuff back into it with them. And I think that'd be interesting to see if they do so. But we play the top half of our rotation a lot. I don't see us spending big money on those guys, especially if they like the room coming in. Go ahead and make that youth movement at wide receiver. Bring them along. That staff, you don't, and I'm not saying this is the truth, Boogie, because no one knows, right? Especially with option route systems, not to bring up Timothy and get him in a tizzy over here. But we don't know if look, these wide receivers have been off putt all day long. Have they been pulling putt all year? Have the backups been out of sync in practice? What's been going on with that? Have they pulled faith in those guys? Are they like, okay, look, these are the guys we like. Everyone else go kick rocks and we'll figure it out on the second string. Maybe go offer big on one guy that we really like in the portal and have a beat on. That's what it's hard to tell right now and hard to guess. Like we said, we don't know, so we are guessing at this point with it.
Randall Perry for 10 says everyone wonders why Heupel is not transparent with the media. You can't be. You can't be. And that's why, I had a conversation with Kaner off air today, and we were talking about this. And look, there's not like we're not experts or insiders, but guess what? We have sources. Yeah. There are guys that are in my ear. There are guys that are in Coach Jay's ear. Like, you have sources. You have guys. When these rumors are happening, there is a certain list of people that I am texting and saying, hey, have you heard anything about this, that, or the other? And you get information. And then you have this responsibility to you guys in the chat. We have a responsibility to you. We have a responsibility to be transparent with you. But at the same time, some things don't need to see the light of day. There's some things that you need to sit on, whether that be transfer portal, recruiting, or family business, family drama in the Talkin VAWLS family. If there's drama, you sit on that. Some things don't need to be in the public eye. And we've saw that play out with Josh Thompson. We've seen that play out when you want to talk about drama in the family. Jarrett Garantano, there's a reason that dude wasn't on this channel. There's a reason why he made his media circuits and he wasn't here. So just let that sink in just a little bit. But Randall, you're spot on. You're spot on with why Josh Heupel can't be transparent. And then Austin Price, VolQuest, they're walking a fine line because they know if they put it in the general's quarters, if they put it in the war room, it's going to be public within a matter of minutes. It's going to happen. Memphis Perry, he says, I'm sick of the nonsense. I want the leaderboard.
Money isn't everything. It's the only thing. And everyone has a price for the $1 Million Man.
I told you Memphis Perry had our back. Good dude. Drops a $50 super chat. Says, let's jump this super chat up. Boogie. Coach Heupel needs to incorporate Boo Carter with Mike Matthews next year. Top super chat of the night. We appreciate you, brother. We're going to talk about Boo. We're going to talk about Boo here in let's just do it now. Actually, let's do some plugs and chills. Memphis, we appreciate it, brother. Very generous super chat. We'll come back to that. We'll talk about Boo Carter coming up here in just a second. But let's do some plugs and chills.
Sure.
What are we? We're 52 minutes into this stream. We've not done enough plugs and chills. First of all, smash the thumbs up. If you're watching this video, you like the content, the videos, the live streams, you can hit that thumbs up. It takes you 2 seconds below the video. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. It's like something like 40% of the views on this channel are not subscribed. And I know a lot of you all watch. You watch on your TV or your device or whatever. You're not subscribed. You're not logged into Google. Just subscribe real quick, man. We're on the path to 30,000. The more subscribers, the more likes, the more shares. We're playing a game with algorithm of YouTube. Those likes put out the videos to other people. Also, you can go check out the merchandise, bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can see the brand new Coach Jay, You're Muted shirt. We dropped this shirt. Coach Jay's done a great job not muting himself since then. So I think it's because of you guys picking up this shirt. State Pride 2.0. It's a clean Talkin VAWLS logo shirt. You guys asked for camo. Guess what we got? We got camo. And I've seen people in the chat saying, Boogie, I got the camo shirt. It is clean. I like it. Go check that one out. All your favorites, whether it's rivalry shirts or it's just logo shirts, it's all there. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. But another quick and easy way you can support this channel. There is a join button below this video right beside subscribe. It's $1. It is $1. We need you. As we roll into the offseason, we're talking recruiting. We're talking transfer portal. We're talking roster management. We're right around the corner from spring camp. But guess what? People don't watch that as much as they watch post-game streams and in midweek streams during the football season. So we need you. I've already got Coach Jay going to work. We got a bunch of film breakdowns coming your way. Wendell Moy Jr. We were going to record it this weekend, but I said, Coach, we got to go live. We got drama. We got Boo Carter. We got stuff to talk about. So we're going to be dropping those soon. So stay tuned. Get him when you finish. It's going to be his Arizona film. It's not going to be high school film or BS film or not. It's going to be his Arizona film, college football. We're going to break it down with Coach Jay right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. But if you hit that join button, that is what keeps the lights on around here. So we would appreciate that support. Chef Tuiardi's been a member for 3 months. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for that support. Johnny Price drops a $5 super chat. If Tennessee has a really good O-line, then Nico can be Nico. But when he is running for his life all the time, then he can't. Love the shot saying oh, this guy's wide open over the middle, and you see Nico like running for his life in no way set up where he can throw the football.
I have to say, number one, I agree with you, Johnny Price. Also, my fake ID in high school was Johnny Price. That was my name on my fake ID. So if you ever get arrested for some weird stuff that you pulled in California a long time ago, my bad. I'm sorry.
That's amazing. A fake ID. See, you didn't need that in East Tennessee because allegedly you could just hang out with people older than you. And that's how you got your. I mean, that's what I've been told. I would never do anything like that. Dakota Coffee for 5 says, I don't know if y'all have covered this yet or not. I'm late, but do you think White hitting the portal has to do with Boo going the offense? GBO, God bless. Well, let's just go right into that, Dakota. We appreciate the $5 super chat. Let's jump in. Let's talk a little Boo Carter, a little bit of drama today. It came out like early this morning. I put out the video on Josh Thompson, and then right after all the drama with Boo Carter started, and I'm like, all right, do I make a video on this or do I wait to see if he goes in the portal? What do I do? It just kept getting steam. And a lot of times when I'm on the fence about making a video, I go by you guys. If my DMs are blowing up, if my tags on Twitter are blowing up, I'm like, I got to make a video. It all started from a message board post on Vol Nation. The Scoop. I have no idea who the Scoop is. But when he posts and says that Boo Carter's hitting the portal, everybody's vouching for this guy. Everybody's saying this dude's 100%. He's been spot on with everybody going in. Twitter's going nuts. Rumors galore. And then Austin Price puts out, there are rumblings about every major player, right? We knew that. He said nobody's safe. He says none have left to this point. Several schools were back channeling for Boo for months. We will see what happens. For me, Coach Jay, I don't know when you saw these news and rumors. I don't know what your day looked like. But when I saw it, for me, the first thing that came to my mind was Colorado, Deion Sanders, Jordan Seaton, Travis Hunter winning the Heisman, playing both ways. We know how talented Boo is with the ball in his hands and how good he is on defense. And then you see part of the negotiations are he wants to play offense. His family, allegedly, I've not seen this with my own two eyes, said it wasn't about money. I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't believe that. I think it was about money, and I think it was about the opportunity to play both sides of the ball. But what did you see when you saw it? Boo, since then, has confirmed he is coming back and conveniently tags his agent in the tweet. So take that.
Yeah. Money is always part of the deal in NIL, but also all the little side caveats that are going to come with the contract, like, what's he want out of his times at Tennessee? What's he expect? And I think a good coaching staff would be honest with what they're willing to concede with that. And I do believe we have a staff that would do that. And I will admit, when I saw this one, this is the first one I perked up for. I didn't really perk up for Squirrel. I didn't really perk up for all the other ones. It's the first one I perked up for and said, all right, if this happens, we went in hard on a player and lost. Like really went all in hard on a player and lost. So I was very pleased to see Boo is staying. And I was very happy to see that we're going to use on offense because I think Halsey does need to be a little honest with himself, and Hype and them need to be a little honest in their self-evaluation. I don't think it was always on them, but I think there were things that they did miss on this year. It's not always as bad as you think or always as good as you think, however that statement goes, right? But I do think there are certain things that they missed on. You never, ever, ever should have a quarterback's protections getting picked off by another team. That's unacceptable to me, and that's a sign that you were lazy as a coaching staff, especially for a playoff game. You need new subversion. You need new everything as far as signal calling and adjustments go. So I didn't like that. And like I said, I think they can be better in that regard. But it all comes down to me is this staff willing to jump out, get more inventive, moving on? And I think Boo wanted to see that as well. And I think he at least was answered to satisfactory, and the money he was demanding was answered satisfactory.
By the way, real quick, my wife just texted me. Mrs. Boogie just texted me. It was about 20 minutes
Breaking.
ago. Mrs. Boogie Jr., my youngest daughter.
Okay.
Apparently, her boyfriend is on a trip for basketball. Like, he plays high school basketball. They're on a trip out of state. Big trip. Big opportunity for him. And Mrs. Boogie just said that his basketball coach is watching you guys live right now. So I don't know if he's still. I have no idea if he's still in the chat, but they're on a trip for a basketball tournament out of state. So if he is still watching, then tip of the cap to you. Best of luck to you guys. Make sure you keep your eyes on the little one. Keep him in line. Keep him walking in the tight and narrow. By the way, his dad watches too, so shout out to his dad as well if they are watching. But anyway, he's the one I told you when they first started dating. They were scrolling through Instagram while they were FaceTiming, and Talkin VAWLS promotional stuff popped up, and my daughter's like, whoa, scroll back up. What is that? And he was like, what? She's like, Talkin VAWLS. He's like, oh yeah, I love that show. It's like, yeah, that's my dad. So shout out to him. Luke Thompson for 5 says, I think I'll make it tradition each year to eat a Carolina Reaper if we lose to Georgia. Good Lord, please don't do that. Please, man. Can we not do that? Can we also please end? Can we end this losing to Georgia? Georgia on the schedule early. That's going to be interesting. Georgia on the schedule early next year is going to be interesting. Boo Carter on offense. How do you utilize him? What do you do with him? Like for me, I don't think Boo is coming in. He's like, I think a lot of people think he's going to start in the slot. He's going to be the slot wide receiver. He's going to be the dude. No, I think Braylon Staley is going to be the dude. And I think you're going to have some snaps for Boo Carter. You're going to have some stuff. Do you give him a series? Do you give him, I'm like you, I don't want to see a Boo Carter package where he comes in and it's like, was it Lucas Scott back in the day? It's like, oh, here he comes off the sideline. It's going to be a jet sweep. But like, we know that. No, I want Boo to get some true run. Yo, you did a film breakdown on Boo, and it's one of my favorite film breakdowns we've ever done because you went through every position. You went through safety. You went through wide receiver. You went through running back. And every single time after the 3 plays, I said, we got to play him at safety. We got to play him at running back. We got to play him at wide receiver because he has that type of talent. I think he can be a dude that can pull this off. But how do you utilize Boo on offense in that slot position?
Multiple is how I would answer. And guess what? I wouldn't be opposed to having him line up at running back at time and breaking out into the slot when you want to go empty. Have fun with him. Use him as a Swiss Army knife. You know, Boo is really, really versatile, and he can do a lot of things. He's a tough kid. He runs with intensity. I'm not saying you want to give him 10 carries a game even, but 3, 4, 5 carries. Keep that defense guessing. Make him put a speed linebacker in to deal with him. When you split him in the slot, then bring him inside. Pack in a tight end with him, go jumbo. You can have a lot of fun, draw up some fun little, motion, give a lot of eye candy with it, with your tight ends, with your slot, with your running back. Keep them guessing. Make things easier on Nico. Doesn't mean I don't think Nico will make a jump. I do, but a good offensive coordinator makes a quarterback's job easy. I think we could all sit here and agree that Hendon Hooker's job was easy at times for him with wide receivers being wide open and things of this nature. So I think we can use him in multiple different ways, and I think we can make his job easy. And thanks for the love, guys. Appreciate you.
See, you guys needed this stream. You needed this stream to pump the brakes and calm down. The sky is not falling. Don't believe the crap you read on Twitter where everybody's in panic mode and saying this, that, and the other. We're going to be just fine. Tyler Maxwell for 2 says this team needs to evolve and grow always. GBO. Dude, I'm excited. I am excited, man. I'm excited about the youth movement. Jordan says, Boogie, your lights are off. Must need the super chats. No, I need you to join the channel, Jordan. You're not a member of the channel. You don't have a Power T beside your name. I need you to fix that. Hit that join button. We would greatly appreciate it. Let's see. Matthew Watson for 2 says, let Boo Carter be the next Jabril Peppers. I think let him be the next Travis Hunter. Like, that's like, how can you not make, like, what do you think about Boo Carter? I mean, this dude's going to be a sophomore next year. He's going to be a sophomore next year. Why can't he be that Travis Hunter guy? I don't know how many snaps he needs. If he plays good in the secondary, if he makes a handful of plays on offense and he's a game changer in special teams, why can't he be that Travis Hunter type player?
Yeah. He can. So, yeah, no, I believe he can. I believe he can play both ways. And like I mentioned, I think Jordan Thomas gives you that ability to give him a rest if you need to on defense. Not saying he can't be conditioned for it. I think he can. but if you need to give them that blow, you can. And once again, you don't got to play them every series. Maybe you play them every other series. Maybe you would play them every third series. I do agree with what you're saying on he doesn't need to be in there, you know, once a half. You know what I mean? Once a game, 3 times a game on a certain situation. I think you want to utilize him to the fullness of his potential if you're going to utilize him.
MG Way says he's not Travis Hunter. Lol. He's pretty dang special, man.
He's
Carter.
good.
It's why
Yeah.
I like you. I wasn't going to go to panic mode, but I wanted to keep Boo Carter home. Guess what? Spire Sports Group did their job. They kept him home. One last thing I want to talk about before we get out the door. Dylan Sampson declares for the NFL draft earlier today. No surprise. Like Dylan Sampson, like what more do you have to prove? You're the single season all-time leader in rushing yards, single season all-time leader in touchdowns. Like you got nothing left to prove at this point. Somebody dropped a super chat earlier and says, where do you guys think he ends up in the draft? Mel Kiper early, it's just like November, I think, didn't even have Sampson in the top 10, which that did give me a little pause. Like maybe Spire could put together an offer that would interest him and he would come back for the right dollar amount, a shot at a Heisman Trophy, a shot at a national championship, shot at an SEC championship. But at the end of the day, as a running back, you got a pitch count, and Dylan Sampson has nothing left to prove. Best of luck to him, man. I hope he goes and gets that dime in the NFL. But what are your thoughts on him entering the portal? Then we could kind of talk about the running back room a little bit.
Dylan, I'm proud of him. He played his tail off. It sucks that he had to go out the way he did. But yeah, I'm an incredible career. Incredible working his way up from a 3-star. Shows you what hard work, determination can do. And it shows you how you can evolve as a player as well over your time there. I mean, you look at someone like a Peyton Lewis. I think Peyton Lewis has a lot of the attributes a young Dylan Sampson had. So you can kind of see that development, but proud of Dylan, happy for Dylan, rooting for him at the next level. Can't wait to see what he does. The depth in the room, do you want to add a piece? It depends how you feel about your freshman, I guess. Do you do it now? Maybe. I like Peyton Lewis a lot. I like Deshaun Bishop a lot. With that said, the SEC is a difficult league and it's hard on its running backs. And Josh Heupel likes to run a balanced attack. Maybe you add a depth piece in there. We'll see what they end up doing with it. Should be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to keep evaluating guys at running back and at wide receiver. I'm with you. Peyton Lewis, I think, is going to be a dude. You're losing Khalifa Keith, Cam Seldon. A lot of people think Dwayne Morris is going to be a dude. Like they think he is very similar to maybe even Dylan Sampson, a guy that's going to have a lot of success in this offense. But me and Kaner talked about it this morning. Dude puts me on blast, man. Imagine this. Imagine he brings me onto the show and we start talking. And about as time to go into the last segment, he goes, all right, Boogie, let's talk about the offensive line. Rank these position groups 1 through 9. And I'm like, I mean, I could talk about the offensive line, but I'm supposed to rank them 1 through 9 off the top of my head. I can't do that. But what I can tell you is you've led the conference in rushing 2 years in a row, but I don't know that that's necessarily the offensive line. You struggled in pass protection. I don't know that that's necessarily, Jalen Wright and Dylan Sampson. I think they're good running backs. I think a lot of that is scheme. I think your success running the football is scheme. So I think Peyton Lewis can be successful. I think Deshaun Bishop can be successful. I would like to see one more portal guy so you're not leaning on a true freshman in Dwayne Morris or Justin Baker because of, young guys trying to pass protect. But best of luck to Dylan Sampson, man. I'm excited about his future in the NFL. JPat86, been a member for 3 months, says bring him in on backup running back series. Another weapon. Boo Carter's what he's talking about there. Deb Gatlin, 2, becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate you, Deb. She's in the chat. She's in the comments all the time praising positivity. She's like, I'm so sick of negativity. I love that you guys are optimistic. You're positive. You're critical, but you're realistic. So thank you, Deb. We try to bring a little positivity to the world of Vol football. SP Weasel for 10. Dylan made my Saturday a few times. That's what's so funny, man. We live like, so I've seen multiple people in the comments talking about the contracts for coaches. Tim Banks' contract is expired. Willie Martinez, his contract's expired, and Coach Eckler, his contract is expired. So where do we go with those coaching contracts? And it's just funny, man, how people want to fire Tim Banks at this point. And we've said all season long, we're living on Dylan Sampson and this defense. And now you want to fire our defensive coordinator. That's interesting to me. Let's not forget, let's not let the Ohio State game skew everything. Let's not let 13 scholarship guys that we're not going to have an opportunity. Let's not let that skew our mindset of where this football team's at, where we've been, where we're going. I get it. People don't want to hear it. That's something I talked about with Kaner. They don't want to hear that you were going to take 10-2 in a college football playoff appearance. They just want to freak out. They want to panic over a loss to Ohio State. They want to freak out. They want to panic over some guys entering the portal that none of which you're really concerned about. But I get it.
Chat's panicking again because Nico reposted that picture.
Oh my God.
I get it.
I mean,
everyone's in full panic mode. I get it.
How about we spend an hour and 10 minutes calming everybody down, trying to bring peace, trying to bring unity to the world of Vol football. We had almost 600 people watching tonight. I hope you guys appreciate that. We work for you. And when I told Mrs. Boogie date night was a blast, I enjoyed looking at my phone, checking out Squirrel White going to the portal, seeing what Boo Carter was going to do while we ate this delicious prime rib sandwich in great company. I appreciate that. But I said, Talkin VAWLS needs me. She says, go talk them off the ledge. All right, we got to get out the door. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. For Coach Jay, my name's Boogie Bentley. What are you talking about, Nelson? Boogie's the author of confusion. How did I confuse it? I'm just trying to talk y'all off a ledge. Appalachian Adventure says we need 400 more likes clicked. Yeah, good luck with that. I don't think Negavols like to hit the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Where are we going moving forward? I don't know. Just make sure you're dialed in, locked in. We're going to do EA Sports College Football next week. Do we do it on New Year's Eve? Do we do it on Thursday? I don't know. Click the bell for notifications. You guys ain't going to miss out. But I appreciate Coach Jay jumping on here at the final hour with me. My name's Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call